Welcome back to City Trends. I have my next guest with me. My next guest is Jesse Clayton from Family Options. Jesse, could you share a little bit what the services that you offer at Family Options?
Yeah, Family Options is a service-oriented organization that works with individuals with developmental disabilities. We have what we call 3 service lines: foster family agency, supportive living service, as well as independent living service.
And you have to have a passion for that to take care of. My wife ran an organization for a while, so I know the taxing demands
Yes.
that are required to be able to take care of people with disabilities, and it has to be your passion.
Oh, most definitely. I have been in counseling for years, about 20 years now. I end up making a transition into working with individuals with developmental disabilities because the satisfaction is there. You know, when you begin to work with them, whether they're making small or very large growth spurts within their goals and so forth, the satisfaction is there, as well as the appreciation. So when you're doing regular counseling, marriage and family counseling and so forth, the first thing that people want to get rid of when the money gets tight is get rid of the counseling, right?
Yes.
You know,
we'll counsel ourselves.
Most definitely.
Go get some top ramen.
And the appreciation is really not there, even when they begin to make great strides in their relationships and begin to heal through what have you. But through individuals with developmental disabilities, they realize that they're by themselves for the most part. Many of them do not have family that work with them or are connected with them, and so they know that the circle of support that we give is probably the only support that they really have.
And you know, one of the things that's kind of misleading is my wife, she took care of people with cerebral palsy, and I've been to other states, and when we were in Washington State, the organization, they went to high school, they went to college, and they were living on their own independently. And some of them would have an aide that would come in and help them with their activities of daily living, but they were virtually independent people. Now, do you guys have sponsors that take care of people?
Yeah, so with our supportive living service and our independent living service, we train direct support professionals to go into the homes to work with them. If it's a supportive living services, typically they will have a 24/7 type of care.
Okay.
Individuals will come into their home on an 8-hour rotation basis. But the type of care that's set up is based upon the goals that that particular consumer wants to meet. Our independent living service, the hours are fewer than 24/7, all based upon the type of service that they need. It may be 20 hours for the month, 40 hours for the month, and the services are trended and tended to based upon the type of goals that they're working on, whether it's money management, whether it's looking for work, whether it's community, any type of community integration. So, but the greatest thing that we have to offer is the fact that we have 3 service lines. So it can have an individual that's living with an individual, what we call providers, in their home. That's our foster family agency. And as they begin to mature and go through their goals and reaching those particular goals, they have an opportunity to move to a supportive living service or independent living service.
Okay.
So for us, it's about helping them to become as independent as possible.
Yes. And that's the same thing we do in the medical field. We always have to keep in the back of our minds to help them be as independent as possible. And we had one of the patients that my wife had, he was going to the University of Washington and getting his law degree, and he had finished his law degree, and when I went to visit him, I was telling him, you know, how impressed I was with it, but it was really it humiliated me. I mean, it made me become humble, because he could just barely move his head, and he had his laptop computer there hooked up to his chair.
Right.
And with all the disabilities that he had, and people looked at his physical disabilities and they thought maybe he has mental disabilities as well, and that was not the case.
Yes.
And he was actually a lot sharper than I was, and he had all these constraints, but he was able to accomplish great things. And I told him, I said, you know, I'm in awe when I sit next to you, because I don't have the physical disabilities that you have, and I haven't accomplished a quarter of what you've accomplished.
Right, and the great thing about individuals that have the challenges that we deal with is when we have that great support, or when we're able to give them that great support, there's nothing that they can't accomplish. Some of them, yeah, they may have more physical disabilities than what we would call developmental disabilities. But we have individuals within our program that are going to college, that are working, that are contributing to society. We have our direct support professionals, but then we have what we call our care providers that open up their homes, allow individuals to come and live with them, be a part of their family, and they're also able to receive compensation for that as well. So when they allow individuals to come in their homes like that, they're able to help them to look at their goals, look at what their future would want to be, and try to help them to accomplish that.
So that's what we need more of in the Central Valley then, right? We need more people that are
Yes.
willing to open up their homes and give these people an opportunity to grow and thrive.
Correct. One of the things that we have began to come in contact and dealing with is the fact that we have individuals that are referred to us from what we call Central Valley Regional Center, and they're of different cultural backgrounds, different nationalities, and we go through what we call a process of matching process.
Okay.
So, just like any one of us, we would want to live with someone potentially with their own culture, their own nationality, our own background, and so we're looking to diversify the providers that work with us because you have individuals, consumers that are coming out and they're looking for individuals that are similar to their past or previous backgrounds with their own families.
And that makes sense, because I teach classes on cultural diversity, and the sooner that someone could acclimate to an environment, the quicker they're going to thrive and be successful.
Correct. Stability is important, and the more opportunities that we can give our consumers to have that stability, the better potential of their own growth and them reaching independence sooner than later.
Okay, so we need some sponsors out there to open up their homes so we can get some of these people here locally the opportunity to not just survive but to succeed.
Correct.
Please share with our audience how to get a hold of you.
You can reach us at 559-275-2323 or our website, which is foptionsca.com.
Hey, thanks a lot for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
We'll be right back, folks. Thanks a lot.